Good afternoon, and welcome to another episode of Que-stead-Que. What you gonna do? I don't know, but something's gonna grow. Well, you guys, I just lit up the pit, so it'll be about 30 minutes because it needs to clean the grates off. And I have my food here, so I just threw together a veggie pack. Onions, garlic, bacon, let's see, some broccoli, green beans, red peppers, onions, eggplant, everything from the garden, basically, except for the bacon, of course. So that's loaded. I did have a smoked sausage in there, and then I have two, what you call it? I say slabs, but two fillet of salmon. So that's what's for dinner today and tomorrow. And then Christmas Eve, I'll just be winging it, basically. But anyway, yep, I have the fire going. And as soon as those grates get clean and the smoke starts billowing, then I'll put the food on. It's currently 1:00 p.m. Beautiful sunny day today. So no lights today. I'm soaking up the sun. I have on my jacket or my heated throw. In fact, let me cut it off now. Since I'm back inside, I don't want to use up the battery. But it's nice and warm. I probably won't even need to turn it back on. Let me make sure it's off. Yep, it's off. So, yep. And it works perfectly for out there. So I'm glad about that. I finished my other trashy shawl on yesterday, and this was made with some of my fiber yarn. And speaking of fiber yarn, for those of you who crochet, I know there's at least two of us, possibly three at least, I know, because So Blessed, you crochet, Lady Cheryl, I believe you crochet, and Diane, I know you crochet, and of course me. Well, yesterday I just happened to be online. In fact, because I'm gonna show this to y'all. I happen to be online because the yarn, it's a yarn store that, it used to be a mom and pop's yarn store, and it was called Webs at yarn.com. Well, they're having their annual Christmas sale, but when I looked at that and looked at what they're calling the sale, I said, I'm gonna have to find a new spot because I can't usually buy what you call the good fiber yarn, like alpaca, silk, sheep's, lamb's wool, that type of stuff, the nice good stuff, merino. Anyway, while they were a mom and pop store, while they were a mom and pop's yarn store, they were small, but they had awesome sales. They would give, like, if you bought, let's say $25 or $50 worth of yarn or whatever crochet accessory that they were selling, they would maybe send you a free bag. In fact, I have a lot of free bags here from them, and they were nice. And so they sold out to a larger company, and when the larger company bought them out, I think it was like a year and a half ago, they didn't really go downhill in the quality of yarn because they sell fiber, but they went up in price. Then they stopped with the freebies. You might can get a discount every now and then, 10% if you spend $2 million, that type of thing. But I just quit dealing with them. But when they sent me the notice the other day, I was like, well, let me see what they're talking about. I looked and I was like, this isn't a sale. Yarn was still like $50 a skein. I want a sale. So what I did was I started looking, because while I was on that site, I saw this one particular yarn that I liked. And it was actually, now that was on sale. It was regularly like $50 a skein, but they had it on sale for, they wanted like $35. And I was like, ooh, this is a nice yarn, because it was from Japan. It's 50% Pima cotton and 50% silk. And I was like, oh, this is some good stuff here. And then I looked at it, you know, how it looked and how it laid and all that. I said, 2 skeins of this would get me a nice shawl. And so, but I said $35 is still too much, even if that is considered a sale. But then I started investigating the yarn at other sites, and yeah, it ran about the same, and some of them had it on sale for like $40. So I said, okay, so Webs, they are, you know, a little lower. Then I got to this one site, you know, when I was pulling up the yarn, and the yarn was on sale for, I got it for 50 or 60% off, something like that. Anyway, I spent a lot less. I think I spent like $20. And so I bought 2 skeins of it. But anyway, the yarn company is called Little Knits. Little as in like a little baby. Knits as in knitting.com. And so here is, I'm going to show you the sale. It says right here, 60 to 75% off super sale. No, 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 no. Get the strolling, because it's actually, the sale goes up to 85% off. In fact, look at this right here. You can buy bundles, and this is the good yarn, because this one right here, I forget what fiber it is, and it's 20 skeins. Normally those 20 skeins would cost you $280, but because it's 80% off, those 20 skeins of the fiber, remember, we're talking animal fiber or whatever fiber, silk, you know, whatever, for only $56. Then you can get the bundle of 10 skeins of that same yarn for $35, and it was regularly $140. So if you go to littleknits.com and just scroll, you know, you're going to see the emblem that says sale. Just scroll that, and you will find a lot of different yarns that would normally cost you maybe $40 or $50 a skein, the real good stuff. You can find it real cheap. For instance, this is 85% off. It's a, I don't know what it is, but it was regularly, this is for 10 skeins. 10 skeins of this would have been $130. So my assumption is that it would have cost per skein, it would have cost like $10 and maybe 50 cents, since it would have been $130. The 10 skeins right now is 19, or our 19, I think 1950, yeah. So those are the type of sales you find. You can choose your colorway. You can choose your fiber, like they have the the bully wool, and they have silks, alpaca, you know, all your different fibers. So, I mean, it's endless. As you can see, I'm scrolling, and it hasn't ended yet. And you're going to start at 65% off. Most of everything is 75%, but there is quite a few 80 and 85% too. Especially if you buy the bulk, you know, the bundles. Those are the ones that are like 85% off. A lot of PDFs are paid PDFs. They have a lot of free PDFs on here that they just started because it's the Christmas sale. So PDFs that would normally cost you for crocheting and knitting, you can get that on sale right now for free. And so with me having an iPad, anything I download that's a PDF, iPad turns it into a book. So if it's more than one page, it looks like it's a book right there in iBooks. And then I just flip open the pages. So I like how it sets patterns up for me whenever I upload a pattern. And that's anywhere, whether it's free. I don't do paid, but even if it's free or just something I'm getting off of a website somewhere else, it'll set it up for me in book form. So I ended up uploading every single pattern, the crocheted ones. I don't knit, so I didn't fool with that. I ended up uploading every one of the crocheted PDFs, even stuff I couldn't make that was far more advanced. I even uploaded those, like for tops and different things, clothing items, because I don't really fool with clothing items. I've made a top before, but I don't think my tops come out nicely. I like simple. I like blankets, shawls, bags, that type of thing. So there were a lot of shawl patterns there. So anyway, we're at 10 minutes, so we're going to do a pause real quick, but let me show you. We're ready now. So I'm going to get this on the grill. I'm going to pause this, and let's hope that the phone doesn't ring, because I shall return to chat with you a little bit more. So we're going to pause this. I'm going to get the food on, and then I shall return. If it cuts off and it's a part 2, you know why. Shall return. I am back. Y'all, when I say that this is the perfect day to grill, now, mind you, yesterday's high was only 11 degrees. Look at how that grill is smoking. Look at it, y'all. Ooh, I'm going to enjoy this. But anyway, it is beautiful, it's sunny, and although it's only a crisp 23 degrees, that's our high for today. And of course, you see we have snow out there. It's just beautiful out there. It feels warm. Well, first of all, because I have on my heated throw, and it's on. Let me cut it back off. Okay, that is done. But anyway, that's one reason why it feels warm. But I mean, it's just nice out there. The air feels good and everything. But anyway, yeah, I finished. I called it a trashy shawl, but this was made before I got on the yarn topic. This was made with what I call the good yarn. So this was made from Pima cotton and silk, but it's a different, they called it it was linen Pima cotton, and I think like 5% silk. Just enough to give it a nice little gloss, but this came out so cute. And this is supposed to be a scrap shawl because I used the yarn before and I had lots of knots in it, and it didn't look polished. And so I got all the knots on this side and I cut them down. But because of that, I didn't want to just make it into something special. But I said, I'll just make it into a trashy shawl. And it came out so nice, I might have to use this for something else. Okay, y'all? Y'all tell me. But anyway, I made it super long because it was quite a bit of yarn. But it's so much that I can do with it. I can wear it. It doesn't look right now because I have on this bulkiness, but I can wear it as a nice scarf. It's a nice shawl. It comes all the way down to my waist, so I can wear it as a shawl. And then I gave it a nice edging on both sides to give it a little bit of weight. I did a wide edge on it for 3 rows. And then I just did along the side to polish it up and make it even. I just did 1 row of single crochet. I can take it. This is what I like. I can put it like over my head like that and do this. I mean, it's just so many things I can do with this in the summer or the winter. So guess what? This isn't going to be a trashy shawl, y'all. I don't think so. This is just going to be used for, I can wear this with jeans. And like if I'm going somewhere, let's say a restaurant or something in the summer, then I can take it in there if it's cool. And this is, although it's a little heavy, it will still serve its purpose as being cool in the summer because of the cotton, Pima at that, and then warm in the winter. And so I'm really enjoying this. And so the yarn that I ordered, I'm going to be making a nicer shawl. I'm going to make that reading shawl, Diana, with 1 set of yarn that I ordered. And then I only ordered 2 sets. I ordered that Japanese yarn because, like I said, I wasn't going to find it any cheaper. I think I paid $20 for it. And I'll tell y'all the name of it if you want to look for it on that site. They have various colors there. Those that have sold out, it'll say sold out. But those that are still available, they have it. It's called Noro, N-O-R-O, Hishimoto or something like that because it's from Japan. But pull up the word Noro yarn and it will come up in the clearance as one was 40% off and the other one I believe was like 60%. I can't remember. But anyway, you're only going to pay like $20-something, with tax for the yarn. So, and it's 400 yards per skein. So all I needed was 2 skeins. That will get me a nice shawl. So I think with that, I may make that reading shawl again, Diana, because I really love that shawl. And then with the other yarn that I ordered, which was just plain Pima cotton, it was 100% Pima cotton and then polythide or something. I forgot the name, but it's a certain nylon that they invented in Japan that adds durability. And look at me, y'all. I done turned this whole thing into a crochet session. Okay, let me stop right now. Okay, CPAP, and then I'm going to get off of here because we're heading towards 20 minutes. The CPAP, it went well, except I scored a 98 out of 100 because I had to remove the mask twice. I woke up, I went to bed early last night, and I woke up in the middle of the night. I couldn't breathe. I was like, oh my goodness, I'm not getting air. So I just pulled the mask. So I knew it was going to take away a point because I had to adjust the mask. I pulled it, So when I did that, I let it go back on and I was fine. I could feel air going up my nostrils. So I went on back to sleep. Woke up again about 2 hours later, and I must have been turning purple because I wasn't getting any air. And of course, my mouth was taped, so I was like, So anyway, I got up and I snatched the whole thing off. I was like, whew, thank you, Lord, for waking me up. But anyway, so I'm thinking, I was like, with this, they probably counted me as having an episode, but it didn't. So obviously something was getting through, but not much. Anyway, I was like, I got to get this figured out. So I checked my humidity level, and my humidity on the machine, I had it set at 5. So I turned that down to like 2. I was like, maybe the humidity was causing it to do that. Then I looked at it, and it turns out my straps were too tight. I had tightened them real snug to my head. And so I loosened them a little bit. And that's when all of a sudden I felt the air. It was like, swoom. And then the mask sealed. And when it's sealed, because it goes, whoop, it makes like a clump sound when it's sealed. So no air is going to escape or whatever. And it got real quiet, but I could feel the air. I was like, that's what it was. So I adjusted the straps some more. And today I'm going to mark that adjustment to make sure I stay at that sweet spot. That was all she wrote. Once I got that set and everything, I went back to sleep. I slept a full 8 hours. And that's the first time since I've even been on CPAP or anything. And I slept very well. You cannot even tell that this setup is on because the tube comes from the top and it swivels, and the mask is is very minimal. And it doesn't even, I was saying it goes behind the ears. It doesn't go behind the ears. The head part comes from the mask right there at your nose, your nostrils, and then it goes behind your head. The top part of it is at the top of your head, and then the little frame comes down, and it touches your face, but it's cushioned, so you can't really feel it. And so it's lightweight. You cannot feel anything on you. And that was the problem with the full face mask and even the whole setup. You can feel it on you, stuff behind your ears. You get accustomed to it, and they make it as comfortable as possible. But if you can avoid all that, why not? So this was just wonderful. When I put that mask on, it was before I really was ready to go to sleep. So I was on the computer or on the iPad. So I didn't take my mouth until I was actually ready to go to sleep. So I was able to breathe, and whatnot while it was still running, so it was adding up the hours before I was asleep, So I was up maybe 30 minutes before I drifted off. But I did some reading, was on Facebook for a little bit. So about 30 minutes or so, I was still up. Then my sister called. She was picking her son up from the airport, and she accidentally butt dialed me. So we talked for a minute. And then after that, I went right on to sleep. I got my mouth tape on, and that was all she wrote until I woke up. Okay, you guys, so we're at 19 minutes, so I'm going to stop here. Let me give y'all one more look. I may come back to show you the food after it's done, because that salmon is going to be delicious, and this nice brisk air is going to work. I'm just glad it's not windy. That fire started right up. I only needed very little lighter fluid. I did put more charcoal than what I needed. I put half the bag because I wanted to make sure it's not going to burn out on me. So I'll be getting some more charcoal anyway. I just picked that up at Myers the other day just so that I could do this today. All right, you guys. So I'm going to get off of here, and I will talk to you guys later. I have not seen Messenger, but he has been here because I saw paw prints out there this morning. So therefore, Messenger is around. I just haven't seen him. But I'm not going to bother him. I mean, I'll speak to him and be nice to him and things like that. I might get some cat treats, and if I see him, just hand him a cat treat or whatever. We could still be friends, you know, because he chose me. So, hey. But I know that he belongs to someone, so I wouldn't dare steal him, although they need to get a collar for him. And even if he's chipped, they still need a collar so that people will know that he belongs to someone. And what good is a chip unless it has a GPS tracker on it? Because my thing is, what good is a chip if you don't have identification? You know, someone would need to turn him in order for the chip, I would think, to work, unless it has GPS that would let you know his location. And my sister was like, that's all you got to do. And if he has a chip in his GPS, they'll come to your house. And she was like, and you just let him know. Okay, he wandered, he came in, so I was afraid that maybe he was a stray. She was like, you can get out of that. You know, I was like, no, but I'm just not going to do it, because I know that cat belongs to someone, because otherwise he would not look so healthy. He would not look clean, and he would not be that domesticated. You know, people do have cats and they just let them go. You know, they move and they can't take their pet. But most people will take their pet if they love them, and he appears to be loved or have been loved. They will usually take their cats to a shelter. Wait, y'all, then I decided, okay, since I can't have Messenger, I can at least try to adopt a cat. I started researching adoption. Why do they make it impossible? It costs so much to adopt. The adoption fees here in Michigan, I don't know about your state, astronomical. And then you have to get all this other stuff on top of it. I can easily see where just getting a cat would probably be $1,000 if I wanted the full setup, insurance for him, you know, shots, all this stuff. Lots of times they're already spayed and neutered. Lots of them have had their shots, but all of them haven't. And I wanted a kitten, and all the kittens have not had their vaccinations yet, because they're still due for other vaccinations. So you want to be responsible. So that's money, you know. So I said, well, let me stop. So then my cousin, when I had posted about it, my cousin sent me a link to, it's a place where people surrender animals, and so they allow adoption for free. It's like a home-to-home transfer, but this place facilitates it so that they know that the animal is going to a good home. And so there was many cats. It was like, well, on the Humane Society site, it was over 300 cats. But then with these high adoption fees, I said, no wonder they're overcrowded. Then they're begging for money and resources, but then they're not shipping out the animal because it costs too much, unless they're having some type of special adoption event. You know, I can understand a donation. You know, no, I mean, I understand that it costs money to care for these and house these pets and these animals. But the point is, you know, the cheapest one I saw was $375, and some of them even went higher for the adoption fee alone. That doesn't even count everything else and the things that you have to buy. You know, you have to get the, you know, carrier and all that stuff. So I said, nope, not happening at this time, not for a kitten at least. So I was like, well, I'll check out what my cousin was talking about. They were closed because she sent me that yesterday. So they'll be open again tomorrow. So I'll call the number and inquire. And it's kind of far away from me. It's way in Detroit on the other side. So I would have to drive a good 40 minutes to get to the place. But it would be well worth it if I could get an animal, you know, a cat that's coming from someone else's home, and there's no kittens there either. It's mostly adult, but they have the elderly cats. They call them senior cats. They have the active ones. They tell everything about the animal. You know, when I was looking through the pictures and everything, and the names of the animals, and they were saying if they were active, if they were sedentary, if they had health problems, these types of things. So you know everything about it, and so you could pair yourself up with a cat. So I think if I'm going to get an adult cat, it would have to be a senior. I don't want a sickly cat, but I would take a senior cat that's healthy. I know a senior cat will require more care, but a senior cat will have slowed down, so I wouldn't have to worry about the cat jumping all over everything and stuff like that. We'll just be seniors together, I guess. And some of them were beautiful too. And they were nice. They looked nice and healthy. So, and they come from homes, you know, good homes where they had been for a while. Some of them, the owners had passed away, you know, and some of them were paired up with their cat siblings. So it's a lot to go through and stuff, but you know, I'm considering it. And if it happens, it'll be once the weather has broken, it's nice outside and everything, so that I'll have the strength and energy to deal with everything and get things set up, and we'll be acclimated, you know, once the weather, you know, gets bad for next year. And he can help me garden because I do want a boy cat. I don't want a girl. Okay, so off of here because we're at wait a minute. I just screamed because Messenger just came up to the door, y'all. He scared me. He's sitting up there staring at me. Where did he go? There he is. Hey, Messenger. Okay. I just wanted y'all to see him. Okay, y'all. So he scared me to death. I did not see him creep up. Thank God the door wasn't open. He must have smelled the smoke from the pit. So once again, he's out there just doing whatever, you know. So, I'll let him do whatever. Wish I had a little treat for him. I would give it to him. So I'm going to have to be careful when I go back out there because he smelled that smoke. So he's going to be looking. But everything's covered in tinfoil anyway, so he won't be able to get to it, that's for sure. Okay, I'm off of here, you guys. I will talk to you guys later. And I'm sorry for scaring y'all. And may God bless you all because I'm just rambling. Bye-bye.